Everyone's got a hidden talent. I know this. What's yours?
Hidden talent? I can draw a little bit. My hidden talent is fooling myself into thinking I have several hidden talents. The past few years I've really enjoyed doing things that I'm initially bad at and just finding like the hidden joy of gradually getting better.
Is bowling one of those, or?
It's something different every year.
What's this year?
Last year was soccer. That was actually a 2-year thing because I was horrible 2 years ago, and I got pretty good last year. This year's been boxing.
Is that like allowed in your contract? Isn't that a little dangerous?
I know, I don't get hit.
Okay.
I just get kind of trained on how to box. I'm not that hardcore yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Complete this sentence. It would surprise people to know that I...
Two things. I have a horrible habit of picking my nose in the outfield when I get really bored. And
I've never noticed that, but I guess now I'm gonna find myself watching.
And beatboxing. Like, I'll just beatbox to just pass the time.
Okay. So you wanna... I think we
I'm not good at it,
police
though.
here, so you wanna beatbox to the police?
It's hard to beatbox and smile. I'm so embarrassed, but that's
Applause, I like that. What's the worst job you've ever had?
Worst job. Jobs are weird. Jobs are like relationships. You know, like you have them for a reason. You know, whatever reason you got out of it, that happened for a reason, but obviously you gotta look at the positive out of it. So it's hard for me to look back and say, wow, I really hated that job. I worked at a Discovery Zone in high school. That's like an off-brand Chuck E. Cheese. It was in a mall.
Okay.
I would do the kids win tickets for playing games and they traded it in for toys or candy, and I would sit like this every day because I thought I hated my job, but the cool thing about it was in a mall, so my friends would come visit me regularly, and I like that about
That's a good sign.
Yeah.
Guilty TV pleasure?
A ton of them. Kardashians, I'm on it.
Oh, that's
Housewives.
what I've heard yet.
Housewives, I like that too. Reality TV, I'm a reality TV junkie.
Me too.
Yeah.
So which reality TV show would you totally kick butt on?
Would I kick butt on?
Yeah, if you could go on a reality TV show. I realize that there's candid reality and there's competitive reality, because you have to divide that up. And like the Kardashians and Housewives, it's candid reality. But unlike the competitive reality shows, is there one you know?
I never really got into the competitive reality shows.
You're strictly a candid, dirt, TMZ, E-Zone reality.
Yeah. I would have to say, you know, it's a big... The dating shows, I'm not a big dater, but I've always watched those and thought about things I would do as crowd pleasers for my friends watching them. Just really silly or embarrassing things I might do to where I'd be hanging out with my friends and be like, I'm glad you did that.
That was very good one. If you could trade places with one person for a day, who would it be and why?
Rafael Nadal.
Okay.
Yeah.
So was tennis one of your...
No, it was one of those things I'm not that good at that I fool myself to think I am. I just think it's cool, like, you know, as a ball player, you make it a goal to make it to the big leagues and play in these towns. But, you know, even when you go to the big leagues, you're going to towns like Milwaukee or Kansas City, you know, that are just basic American towns. And it's just always been cool to me to think that these guys, you know, it's just them. It's not a team sport, and they're going to the best cities in the world, you know, and it just seems really cool to me.
Who would play you in the movie of your life?
I don't know. I mean, someone I would resemble. People say when I grow hair I look like John Legend, but
I can see that when you had the little when the dreadlocks were growing out in New York. Yeah.
But
actually, even now, I actually see that a lot. Now that you mentioned.
Okay, but when people have those reenactments, they always want someone like buffer and better looking. So I would say like an I Am Legend Will Smith, just so I could watch that and just be
that was the next thing I was gonna say. Looking at you here, is I could definitely see the Will Smith, or maybe
not that I look like. I would just like to see myself in that role, just all ripped and look around in the theater and see other people seeing like that.
Who is the most unusual character you've met in your playing career?
Unusual character. There was a lot of characters on the Southern Maryland team that were different. And they stick out to me just because it's so recent. Newbie was a character. I swear he has Tourette's in some way, shape, or form. Corey Thurman is just high energy all the time. He is my York teammate. His ability to just light up a locker room when he's in it.
That's why he's going into acting now. His movie's going to be debuting December 17th.
That's what he's telling me.
Yeah. Oh, and he's in the trailer. We saw him in the trailer.
Is that on YouTube or anything?
Yes.
I'm going to check that out.
I'm going to have to link it
I think he's going to do really well with that. He's just got that type of energy. Reichard was a character.
As I discovered.
Just a guy that could dedicate his day to just blowing stuff up or doing something completely not related to baseball. Going into work was impressive to me.
He was talking about.
There were just a bunch of characters. I was blessed to be around good people this year.
Now, my last question for you, this is two-part because you played for two teams this year. Your favorite aspect of playing for York and your favorite aspect of playing for Southern Maryland?
They were polar opposites, but in a lot of ways there were a lot of similarities. Going to York, the first thing Edge told me, this was in '09, before last season, was that he was going to build a team to win that league, and that he was going to get rid of everybody that was there at the time. You know, and being a new player is just, I wanted to not trust him. I kind of looked at him sideways like, who says that to somebody? And he did. And while I was in York, I kind of felt that way, but as I warmed up to him and grew to know him, I realized he had a good heart, and he did what he said. And so I really grew to respect Etch as a manager. And then as far as the team, York is a team that was fueled by their hitters. You know, it was just a hitters team. The characters on the team were the hitters, and that was cool to be around. But when I switched to Southern Maryland, it was the opposite. It was a pitchers team. All the standout characters were pitchers, and it was a pitchers locker room. Mm-hmm. But they were the same in the sense to where one side or the other dominated the locker room, and they were both really good locker rooms. Butch, great manager. You know, he's a manager you could be proud of. You know, you think of 5-tool players that just, you know, do everything right and go about the right way. That was the type of manager he was, and that was cool to be around. But in a sense, both managers had different approaches. The team, both good teams, had different approaches at being a great team.